guessing some of you might be wondering if my channel's taken a hit from the YouTube algorithm, like so many other channels. I can assure you that's not the case. Got a new child, need to focus more on what needs to be done around the house, more on work and less on videos. I've always said I never want to do YouTube full time, so I'm perfectly safe in this regard. I've never wanted to make YouTube my full-time job, so I've been able to do this without too much difficulty. However, the YouTube algorithm has knocked many channels for six. Classic ones that spring to mind are Shadowversity and other sword content makers such as Lindy Beige and Scalagrin. However, it is not just sword content ones, or ones that have any links to seemingly controversial ones like Shadowversity. People might say it's all down to Shad having his Mormon views. Interestingly enough, one channel that has also called out saying, yeah, I'm struggling here, is Sursec. He's a atheist channel using a cartoonish image of a Knight Templar, maybe a Hospitaller, depending on which one he's trying to riff off. But even he seems to be struggling. He's even put out a video saying that he is. Now, if it's all down to controversy, I can't see his channel being anything like that, and it can't be people attacking religion on that, because that's what he does. And if it's all down to religion aspects, then why is it that some people are being targeted who aren't even connected to religion? I mean, genuinely, I haven't seen Matt Easton crop up on my feeds, and I had to actually double check that Todd's Workshop was still producing videos, because I hadn't seen any of his videos on my recommendeds. I've seen all manner of rubbish cropping up, but nothing from people I'm actually interested in. Now granted, there are some that I just haven't had a chance to click on in quite a while. Such as, for example, r/. Mostly because I've been more focused on stuff that takes me away from videos that definitely require full-length listening in one bite. That's what his videos seem to be. Whereas I can easily listen to an audiobook in snatches, hence why I listen to various audiobooks on YouTube. Now, some people might say, I'm going part-time, I really should be going full-time with this, making more money. Here's the thing, I don't have a big enough subscriber base to go full-time, even if I wanted to. Especially with the YouTube algorithm hitting the hard workers who do make a full-time job of this. I work as a taxi driver. I have a wife and child to look after. I need to focus on what brings in the money. Unfortunately, that is not YouTube. YouTube for me is not a means of making money. And to be honest, I think that these days people look at it as a full-timer's game. Some people might say that that's what these algorithm shifts are all about. What happens to be useful and good for small-time YouTubers such as myself. But that isn't the case. Instead of recommending stuff from the channels that you actually want to see, because you know they do good content, such as Metatron, such as Shadowversity, and even some of those who do lesser stuff, like, say, there are a couple of Star Wars ones, Grey Jedi 95, Evan Nova 95, sorry, Gen Sarai 1, Antoine Bandelade, all of Finalysis, the Council Force cast, all of that crowd dropped off my radar almost completely. I had to actively go looking for them. Also, one of the channels I'm subscribed to, Sapphire, I haven't seen her in ages. I know I'm subscribed to her, I can double check actually. Normally I don't subscribe to people, but Sapphire is one of them because she is amazing. She's a fantastic musician. Checking now, and I've got all manner of subscriptions, including Shadiversity, TV Wild. I haven't seen him in ages. Basically, I haven't had much chance to see on his videos, but he hasn't been on my radar much recently. And I know he does plenty of uploads. The Volgan, haven't seen one of his videos in ages. Or the Audit occasionally pops up. Gaming Evolution, sometimes, yes. But again, Sapphire. I'm subscribed to her as my subscriptions page. Haven't seen her in a very long time. I occasionally see Taskmaster, Damn Music. I don't even know what he does anymore. Granted, it could have been back in the days where this sprung up quite often, and my phone was clicking on random things, so it could be I'm subscribed to a load of random stuff. I have had to do some interesting editing to get around that, but this is why I have. I mean, I got Early Jazz, didn't realise I was subscribed to her, to be honest. But even then, I only get some references from her. So that shows I'm subscribed to all of these, and I don't even get half of those. I get a load of rubbish about other things that I'm not even subscribed to. But not always these. It's clearly nothing to do with click-throughs. It's nothing to do with the algorithm supporting people. It's simply going for essentially the clickbait. Some random things. And to be honest, I can throw a radical thumbnail up on one of my videos. I can do shorts every day, and that's got interest. Does that mean that my long form videos really get something for it? No. I said it before, people don't want long form content anymore, and unfortunately short form stuff doesn't do what we're trying to get across justice. All it does is give people a bite-sized piece of information. David from Sellsword Arts, he's pointed out that people will throw into the comments on his shorts where he's done sort of different techniques and how to work with them, things what they would do in those situations. He's already done a video on it, but because they just see that one, they're like, oh no, I'll do it this way, I'll do it this way, I'll do it this way. No. It's all down to the fact you're giving a tiny little bit of information. They have more time to write the comment than they normally allow themselves to think, and certainly more time than the YouTuber has to deliver that video. Especially back in the days where it was literally just 1 minute shorts. Those were annoying. I had to really crop down my analyses of things. It worked okay when I was doing the 10-minute commandments. But when it came down to bigger Reels runs that needed a lot more investigation, I needed more time, and it gave me none of it. Hence why I had so many videos going to long form just out the blue. Either way, this algorithm lark is messing with people, and the shorts are just eating up the long form content. And I'm pretty sure it's starting to affect most of my videos as well, because in order to make the most of the shorts, I have to take longer videos, longer reels, and trim them down, chop them up into a series of shorter reels that I can take and then use for my reels runs. But that often takes each aspect out of context. which goes against everything I say in my long forms. There's a reason why I focus so much on the atheist community of Austin. Not only because they give some decent bites of information that I can sink my teeth into, work around, and present a workable argument with. Something which I'll comment on in a long form video eventually. But because often those videos are shorter, just high impact, here, there. Someone can crop down, post, share, easy enough. And I don't lose the context that is in those reels. The context is there. They're the ones removing it, not me. So I can allow for that. So whilst my long form content is more spread out, and even my short form stuff is now scattered a bit more to allow me more time with my family, my content is generally safe from YouTube's machinations. I could say that experimental theology is going to be a niche subject, and not everyone's going to be interested in someone finding a balance. Most people seem to prefer the extremes, such as the highly radical fundamentalists, such as, let's say, there was one I was thinking of, Bible Flockbox. I've done a video on him. Unlearn the Lies, Lex Mayer, or loud shouters such as Only JS back in her old days, or even the hardcore atheists such as, another couple that sprang to mind, Alex O'Connor. There was another chap, but I can't for the life of me remember his name. He does, what was it? Genetically Modified Skeptic. And even Forrest Valkai with some of his. Because they don't want to learn, they want to be entertained, they want to be confirmed. That's why I try to do deep dives in some videos, so I can get all the information out there as possible. Realistically, it's all down to the people. If they don't want to engage, if they don't want to bother discussing, if they don't want to bother listening, my videos are basically just out there and hovering. They're like a library that no one's ever gone into. But they're there. And they will always be there. And I will continue to do videos whilst I am able, when I can. So if I'm not on your feed for a certain amount of time, don't panic. I'm doing everything I can to keep videos flowing, especially now that I'm free from duties looking after my parents. They've got their carers. I've got my own family to look after now. And me and my wife have managed to work out a system where I can still do videos and the baby will still be looked after. So until the next time, keep looking through all the videos that I've already put up. If you've got any questions about certain topics, scroll down. In fact, at some point I might even post a list of useful videos that people can look at if they got certain questions. So until then, stay humble, stay safe, and God be with you, my friends.